Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you exactly how the lay at the start multi-matcher approach works. So it's a simple but powerful tool that helps you reduce the risk when building your multis, and it's perfect when you want to build those steadier profits and have less variance than the no lay approach. So the lay at the start approach is a pretty simple one. So instead of letting your whole multi ride, you're going to be laying each leg at the start as if it was an individual bet. This way, if one leg loses, you still make something back from your lay bet and you don't need everything to win to stay in profit. So again, the software is really nice and easy to use. In this first field here, we've got the bookmaker. So we'll just leave that selected at bet R, but if you do click on it, you've got all the different bookmakers there. In the next field down, you've got the sport. So you can select whichever sport you're looking at. We'll just select soccer. And then you've got the number of legs in the multi. So with bet R, most of them are a 3-leg, 1-leg fail. So we'll just leave that as it is. And then you've got the min and max odds as well down here. So most bookies will have min odds per leg. From memory, I think bet R's is at 1.2. So you just leave that there. Underneath that, you've got the min efficiency of all the legs that you want the software to display. So obviously the higher the efficiency, the better for us. So 95% is very solid. If you play about with it, you might find a few better legs that way as well. And then underneath you've got the slider as well for the time frame. So it's currently selected for the next 3 days. But if we boosted it up, you can see the selections will change. And if we scroll even further down, you're going to have more selections of more days that you've got. So in the next field on the right here, you've got the back stake. So the stake for the promo, which at default is selected at 50. And then you've got the bonus bet as well. Next, you can change the retention. So if you think you might get a little bit less retention at a bookie, you would select whatever you think you can get. So if you put 75% in there, you can see the expected value changes accordingly. And if you thought you were going to get a bit more at a bookie, you could put 85. And again, that's going to increase the expected value. If it wasn't actually a 1-leg fail promo as well, and instead it was a profit boost, you could just put one of these fields as 0 up here. So we'll put the bonus at 0, which is obviously going to take the expected value into a loss. But then you can put the size of the profit boost in here. So if it was 50%, you'd put 50% in there, and it will change the fields accordingly again. So I'm just going to put that back to normal for now. So underneath you've got the recommended selections which the software has picked up, so they're going to be the more efficient legs. And you can see down here as well, you've got 2 shorter odd legs here, and then you've got one that's slightly higher variance as well. So you've got Cheltenham at odds of 4.4 there. So if you put a slightly higher leg in, it will help boost up the expected value, especially if it's a bit more efficient as well. But if you prefer a lower variance approach, you can select the low variance toggle here, and that's going to give you 3 lower variance selections. The thing you need to bear in mind there as well, though, it might fall under the total odds rules for the bookie. So I think bet R might be at 3.0 from memory. But then what you could do is once you scroll down, you've got the low variance approaches here. Obviously there's not as many, but you could boost the time frame as well. But we're just going to leave that for now, and we'll just take that toggle off. And once you take the toggle off, you got the more lower variance selections over on the left, and then the higher variance selections on the right. So if you did want to change some of these legs, so if you didn't want to actually back Cheltenham, you could take that one out, and then we'll add another selection from the higher variance. So let's go a draw in the Udinese game, and then if we select that, it's going to change your legs up here, and it will change the expected value a little bit as well. But once you've come up with your selections and you're happy with them, your next step would be to go into the bookie, add all the legs to your bet slip, make sure they match up with the odds that are shown in the software here, and then obviously make sure the total odds are the same as well. And then you'd get all the legs ready in Betfair as well, ready to lay. And again, make sure they're matching up with the odds here. You can change them manually if they've changed slightly. So sometimes they might move slightly against you, or sometimes if you're lucky they might move in your favour. And then once you're happy with your selections and that all the odds are correct, you'd place your bet over at the bookie, and then you'd come back to the calculator over here, and then you'd open up your individual bets at Betfair, and you got your first one here. So you would lay Bayern Munich at 1.24 for $82.91. Then you would lay AC Milan in the next one at $77.65, and then you'd be laying the draw in the Udinese game for $28.03. Then once you go up into the expected value field, you can see the total expected value here is $14.03. And as we mentioned earlier, the lay at the start approach doesn't completely remove the risk, but it definitely does give you much less variance in the long run. But you still need to be consistent with the bets as well, so that you make sure you actually realize this value. But you can see $14 value is nothing to be sniffed at there. So once you've placed around the 100 bets, you would expect your profit to be around $1,400, which is really, really good. So underneath that, you've got the profit range. So our worst case scenario here is a loss of $25.90, and our best case scenario is $127.28. You can see down here that one's very unlikely, so that would be all 3 legs losing. So the draw one obviously has got a good chance that that won't be a draw, but we are laying 2 teams at very low odds as well, so bear that in mind. And then you've got all the different outcomes here. So if all three of them win, you'd win $92.85. And then you've got a few of the losses there as well. And just to note as well, so the first letter over to the left will be the first leg of the multi, the middle one for the middle, and then the last leg on the right here will be the bottom one of the multi. So that's just a way to work out exactly what would happen in all the different scenarios. So that's pretty much it. It really is that simple. If it's not an approach that you've tried, I'll definitely recommend jumping into the lay at the start matcher, giving it a go, and there's a lot of value to be had there. So thanks very much for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.